make a couple of blanket statements, and then we're going to back up. Right? Here's one blanket statement. If I was to go backstage right now and drag Greg out here and give him a shot of truth serum where he had no defenses, he couldn't act in any way than what he really was. And if I was to give him that truth serum and say, Greg, tell me the truth right now. Are you living in some confusion? He would say, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I don't know if Greg would know why, okay? But I do know that he is. Nick Saban is a guy who, like just last night, won another game, and the guys on the panel after the game, not the announcers, but the panel after the game, they showed him on the field. They said, you are looking right now at the greatest coach of our generation. That's what they said. I didn't say this, right? That's what they said. And as they said that, I'm watching Nick, and I laughed out loud in the hotel room last night. I laughed out loud because I knew that Nick would want to hear this, that Nick is very aware that a lot of the coaches, Division I coaches, like hate his guts. I mean, he's very aware of that, okay? And he would want to hear any of this, and I was very aware as I was watching him. Okay, they gave Eddie Lacy the MVP award for the SEC championship game, and I'm watching Nick, and he's standing there, and he's listening, and Eddie's talking, and Nick's like, can't wait to get off this stage. And I'm just kind of chuckling because I knew that right then, Nick was living in a lot of confusion. Now, if I just say Greg and Nick, and both of them are living in confusion, you go, I'd like to live in that kind of confusion, right? Because these are people who we look at, not just us, but society looks at as hugely successful people. Now, I want to give you a philosophy of something that if I could put something in you, and I could say, you know, if Greg said, you got 45 seconds with them, that's all the time I have. But we really need you to change their lives. We need you to take these people and somehow double ACN in a year or even triple it. I would tell him, I can do it. Yes. They will listen to exactly what I say for 45 seconds, think about it live, and keep it on the tip of their mind as they move through every part of the rest of their lives. We can do it, right? But I got to give you a start with this today. And we're going to back it up with a lot of things. And if you're normal, you're going to think this is very odd. But what you got to understand is if you think this is very odd, you have more changing to do than others. I know, look, listen, I do a lot of like speeches, and I go in places and I'll be funny and I'll talk and I'll tell them stories and we'll get to the end of an hour and a half and they will have felt good and I will have given them a couple of things. You are different to me, all right? And I'll tell you why you're different. One is, what is this, the fourth or fifth time I've been in here? You guys are gluttons for punishment. That's one thing. You're different, right? And so you're different to me, right? And so I feel a responsibility, and Greg is a friend, and so I feel a responsibility not just to the leadership of this country, I feel a responsibility to you, not to just come in and just kind of be funny for a while and encourage you and let you have had a great event in San Jose. I'm sorry, that was a fun one. Oh, you're fine, sorry. You were getting in dirty right here. But what I really want to do here, what I really want to do in the next few minutes is shift something in you that will allow you to fully take advantage of the system that ACN is. Because at ACN, we talk about this system that has been created for you. And what it really is a culture. Right? It's a culture at its base level. What you have here is a culture. And if you do not understand it, if you don't even identify it, there's no way you can possibly take advantage of it to the greatest of your abilities. And so this is something that I want you to understand right from the beginning, is that it isn't just ACN that has a culture or a system. Everybody has one. You know, every family has a culture. Every state kind of has their own culture. You know, I live in the southern part of our state. We have a different culture than the northern part of our state. Actually, we live in a little town that is right by another little town. And Orange Beach has a different culture than Gulf Shores. You see this with football teams, right? Alabama has a different culture than Auburn. And so this is in the same state. People are trying to do the same thing. People, you know, there are many companies out there, and they all have cultures too. They have a system that they ascribe to, that they create. But you're further down the road because there are a few people within your culture who are actively understanding how to create one that works. Because, I mean, I don't know who the worst Division I team was in America this year. It'd be like number 117. But whoever they were, they have a culture too. Now, here's the 45 seconds, and we're going to build on this. You ready? Here it is. I'm going to shock you. If you are doing what everybody else is doing, if you're thinking like everybody else is thinking, you're doing something wrong. Because everybody is not getting extraordinary results. If you are thinking like everybody else is thinking and doing what everybody else is doing, you're just contributing to the average. Even if in your life you're doing pretty good, and everybody looks at you and says, wow, look at them. If you're only doing pretty good, if you're only doing a little better than everybody else, you're just contributing to the average at a higher level. Now, do you want to be average? Do you want to have an average family? Do you want to have an average business? Do you want to create average financial results? Do you want to have an average marriage? Do you want to raise average kids? No! If I gave you a magic wand and I said, you have the ability to wave this magic wand and create whatever life you want, if you have the ability to, you'd take that magic wand and you would create a life in every single aspect that was wildly outside of average. It would be extraordinary in every way, if you could choose it. So what I'm saying is, be very careful with your thinking. Because when you find yourself thinking like everybody else, remember that the results of thinking like everybody else thinks is average. And you just said that wasn't what you wanted. Right, you got me? Now, at the basis of everything, that really throws some people for a loop. I'm looking for water out there. That really throws some people for a loop because a lot of people think, well, you know, I kind of think like my parents. Or I kind of think like my preacher. Or I kind of think like my brother. Well, if your brother is where you want to be, feel free to take advantage of that thinking, right? But if you want to be in a different place, you're going to have to grow comfortable with thinking that most people look at it and think, that is, I mean, a lot of people look at it and think it's kind of bizarre. Okay, because I will tell you that to get where you want to be in your life, one of the things you better grow very comfortable with is the ability to live constantly in some degree of confusion. Because the sign of maturity in a human being, a sign of maturity in a human being, is their ability to live in confusion. Let me explain this. But most people just, I guess, haven't thought.